Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. My name is Aydar, and I'm with Anabasys Consulting. And for the next 20 minutes, I want to talk about one specific thing that catches almost every foreign company off guard when they come to Uzbekistan. It's not the markets, it's not the licensing or the paperwork. It's actually the accounting, and specifically the fact that you once starts operating here, you suddenly cannot read your own numbers. So this is me. I'm going to turn off my camera now, and I will introduce you to the world of accounting of Uzbekistan. If you're trying to enter the market or you're already here, it will be very, very useful information for you. So let's buckle up and let's go. So here's my promise for today. By the end of this session, you will understand how accounting really works in this country, why it quietly frustrates foreign owners and their head offices, and how you can get clear your your numbers and so your headquarters to understand them. And this is genuinely for two kinds of people in the room. So if you're planning to entry Uzbekistan, good, because you'll avoid a very, very expensive and common mistake. And if you're already operating here and your reporting somehow never quite makes sense to you, this is for you too, because you're probably living inside the exact problem and I'm about to describe. So let's get into it, right? Um, so let me briefly introduce myself. We are Anabasys Consulting. We are vendor independent digital transformation consulting company. So that exact phrase, vendor independent, really matters, and we are very proud to say that. So we're not here to push one product and make everything look like a nail because we happen to sell hammers. We pick the right platform for the situation in front of us, which is why a little later I will happily tell you where a tool is the right answer and where it is absolutely not. Implementing business systems, ERPs, and such is the core of what we do. So we automate sales, supply chain, production, finance, HR using international best practices. We have delivered hundreds of projects across the CIS and the Middle East in industries as different as retail, mining, manufacturing, and finance. So, as a team, we carry roughly 20 years of experience in Central Asia and about 10 years here in Uzbekistan. And we are an official Odoo and Microsoft Dynamics partner in Uzbekistan. But honestly, the part that should matter most to you is this. We went through this exact journey ourselves. So nothing today is theory from a slide deck. We learn it the hard way on our own books and on the books of our clients and our friends who faced the same challenges and struggles as we did. Now, before I talk about the problem, let me just say a few words about the country itself. So currently, Uzbekistan is one of the fastest growing economies in Europe and Central Asia. In 2025, the economy grew by 7.7%. That's a record for the country. GDP has passed $145 billion, and the government is openly targeting 240 billion by 2030. Foreign direct investment hit $43 billion in a single year. That's around a third of the entire economy. And there are already more than 17,000 companies with foreign capital operating on the ground here. And the growth isn't narrow or fragile, it's actually broad. Construction up around 14%, market services up nearly 50%, 15%, sorry. Manufacturing growing steadily, reforms are opening the market up further year after year. So the strategic direction is not that. This is a market you want to be in, and a lot of serious companies have already made that call. But, and this is the entire reason we're on this call today, the day you stop planning and actually start operating, you run into one very specific, very local challenge, and almost nobody sees it coming. So, let me show you exactly what it is. All right. So, the local challenge, local accounting challenge. Let me be completely honest with you about local accounting because understanding this properly is the key to every decision that follows. First of all, once is the standard or adines or adinesk. So in Uzbekistan, basically, once accounting equals once. I'm not joking. Every local accountant is trained on it. It's simply the language of the entire profession. If you hire an accountant here, they work in 1C and only in 1C. So this is their market in Uzbekistan. So second thing, um, it changes constantly. New legislative requirements land almost every single month, and 1C is maintained centrally for the whole country precisely so it can keep up with that stream of changes and stay wired into the government systems. So you have to digest these thoughts really thoroughly right now. For one individual company to try to chase every tax change and every reporting tweak on its own, it's simply not realistic. You would be permanently behind and permanently developing your own system. The third thing you have to consider here is the Soviet era legacy. The local system carries decades of accumulated logic, and that logic is genuinely unfamiliar to a foreign finance team. It's not bad. It's just built on a completely different foundation than what your people are used to. Fourth, um, it is built for the accountants, not the owner. The whole statutory and tax rules, they're not built for business, this for businessmen. It's built for accountants. Local books are designed to produce and file statutory reports. That's all. That's their whole job. And they're not designed to help you. The owner understands or run the business. Those are two different purposes, and the system optimizes for the first one. So it has only one job. Fifth, and this is the deep root of the whole thing, statutory and management accounting are two different worlds here. In most of Europe or in the United States or the Americas, they almost coincide, almost the same. The books your accountant files and the numbers you actually run the business on barely differ. They're almost the same, maybe just a couple adjustments. Here, they are separate universes. So even a brilliant finance director that's uh, comes from your headquarters, someone who can pick up any international financial statement and read it in 2 minutes, will look at the local books and genuinely struggle. That's not a competence problem. It's just the way it is. It's not meant to build to be comprehensible by the foreigners. And the sixth, the structure itself is different. You'll run into concepts like subconto and national standards that simply don't map cleanly onto a Western style chart of accounts. There's no clean one-to-one translation. So now you put all six together, and here's the result. The local books are hard to interpret and comprehend, which means a manager and the head office effectively cannot understand their own financial data. Think about how strange that is. You own the company, you're funding it, and you cannot read its books. So, what do you do about it? This is exactly where the most companies get it wrong. The key is to successful run of your business in Uzbekistan is that you should separate statutory and managerial accounting. Yes, you heard me right. When the foreign companies hear everything I just described, they almost always reach for one of two shortcuts. So the shortcut number one will be fine. We'll just set it all up in our own system. We'll build the local accounting inside Odoo or inside whatever ERP we already run globally. Shortcut number two. We'll just buy a cheap box local product for a few $1,000s and be done with it. Let me tell you something, honestly, and from the experience, neither of those shortcuts are going to work. All right? You cannot bend a management system like Odoo into the local statutory system without effectively rebuilding 80% of it. The structure, the subcontent, the whole Soviet era foundation, that is enormous amount of custom work and cost, and even after you've paid for it, you're still on the hook to chase those monthly legal changes yourself forever. So it's just going to turn into forever development of your own system product or just rebuilding the whole ERP. And what about the cheap box product? It simply isn't maintained. That's it. It is that simple. Nobody's signing a commitment to update your box within a week or every new tax law. The economics of that don't work unless you are very, very rich. Let me give you one number. Like, let me give you not number. I'm sorry. Let me give you a case from our experience. So, a very well-known international paint company planned a 1 month rollout of their accounting system in Russia. For reference, in France, it took them only 3 weeks. In Germany, it took them 2 weeks. But in Russia, it took them a year and a half. Local accounting in this part of the world is far harder than it looks from the outside, and Uzbekistan is no exception. So, my honest advice is do not fight it, do not resist it. You just separate two layers and let each other do what it's genuinely good at. Let them do what they're meant to do. Okay, so on one side is your local compliance engine. This is 1C, IDNS, whatever. Bookkeeping, taxes, invoicing, kept fully compliant by professional local accountants. So the software itself automatically adapts to every regulatory change that happens in the country. So this is your best friend for staying right with the authorities. You keep it standard, you keep it clean, and yes, you just let it do your job. Okay, like be friend with 1C. On the other side, is there management control there? That's going to be Odoo. Yes, uh, we offer you to install Odoo. This is the fastest way to operate your business when you're just entering the market. So this is where you actually run the business: sales, purchases, inventory, if you have some warehouse, HR approvals, document signing, etc., etc., etc. Where you see you will see clear numbers in English or in any other language that you speak, and in your own currencies, in the currency of your company. You'll see your P&Ls, your cash flow, budgets, margins, KPIs. So it's going to be readable for you, for your owners, for your managers in headquarters. So it's just gonna be all roses and flowers. And I want to be clear about why the second layer matters, because it's just not convenience. It's about visibility and control. Step back and ask what an accounting system is even for. All right. So when your numbers live only in a system you personally cannot reach, you lose real oversight of your own business. You end up trusting rather than seeing. Small discrepancies between what's reported and what's really happening can sit unnoticed for a long time. A clear management layer closes that gap. It gives you genuine oversight and confidence from day one. For a company putting serious money into this market, this isn't a luxury. It's just basic financial control and business control. So here's the entire idea in one line if you didn't listen what I just said for the past 5 minutes, right? Keep in mind this. 1C keeps you compliant. Odoo gives you control. You do not replace 1C. You just add a management layer on top of it. Okay, this is that simple. This is what you have to do here. Right. So now let me tune you briefly into the special package of urgent implementation by our company, by Anabasys Consulting. So what does that management layer actually give you? Odoo becomes your core system where you run and control the entire operation of your new legal entity in Uzbekistan. You run your operation in it, sales, purchases, invoicing, document signing, etc. You get an accounting and tax view configured to your actual business activity, including taxes and tax returns. You've got your people, your company structure and stuff, and all of it rolls up into head office visibility. A multilingual interface, it actually covers the Russian language and Uzbek language as well. Multi-currency, you can enter operations in Uzbek Zoom and system will recalculate based on the currency rate at that time and the day. You'll have your dashboards so you can analyze money, analyze numbers, and critically, it stays in sync with your compliant 1C book. So the two never drift apart. Okay. Well, actually, the last part is not really that necessary, but the other part is really important for you. So, um, now, the implementation time will take around only 3 weeks. It's not that much. It's actually fast, and it depends on the speed that you operate. We've been a part of the international consulting company from Denmark, so we understand how fast, what's the fast-paced environment is. So you can really count on us on the flexibility, on the pace of delivering the projects. Now, um, I would like to say thank you for your time that you spent with me here today. If you're entering Uzbekistan or you are already here, please feel free to reach me out, book free diagnostic of your entry. We'll map your case. I'll show you how it's going to look for you, and you'll be happy with that. So, thank you very much for your attention. Well, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat.